Messages set around. Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's Friday night edition of the Hat and Beard Show live stream. We'll be briefly discussing last night's game, possibly talking about tonight's game, and if time permits, we will be touching on the Lions game a little bit, some game lines that I think are interesting to look at. Going to give it a couple seconds here for people to kind of come hang out if they want. If not, hey, thanks for watching this post live stream. If you haven't already, go ahead and slap like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the kind of stuff that we do here. It helps the algorithm out a lot, lets people know that we're out here. We're 520 subscribers, but growing. The problem is that especially the closer we get to November 5th, people who express certain viewpoints kind of the way that I do tend to get a little bit less of a bump in the algorithm, a little bit less of a recommendation. So, it helps out a lot if you guys like, comment, subscribe. I do realize that it's Friday night. Probably not going to be that lively of a show, but that is what it is. Those of you that do show up, I appreciate it. Keep looking at this broken clock. Those of you guys remember last night, the saga of the broken clock continues. Big surprise there. No one managed to do anything about it today. So unless I want to quit staring at a broken clock, I'm going to have to do it myself. So welcome, the person hanging out. Appreciate it. If you're new here, hit subscribe if you like what we do, and drop a like on the video. Going to give it about 15 more seconds, then we're going to just kind of go into it. I don't know. We might try some stuff out. Kind of was feeling like doing like a monologue style, but I don't know how well that would really fit a live stream without being able to interject and cut like sliders post the end of the monologue, and then as well as imagery also kind of tends to help with monologuing. Visual aids go a little bit farther than me just staring at my laptop or at my cell phone. We got the old paper towel with the hot sauce bottle camera stand going on here, and we are coming to you live from my break room. So this is awesome. We are hanging out on a break time on a Friday night. It is Friday night. My nights are all screwed up. So, all right, let's get into it then. We're going to talk about the Thursday night game where the Ravens came up a little short. You could say they came up a toe short, or a toe too long. Probably the only time in Isaiah Likely's life that he had ever been told that his feet were too big. I was able to get home in time to watch that play happen live. I was a little hesitant when I watched it happen, and then as soon as the replay happened, you could see that dude's just big old toe just hanging right over that white stripe on the line. And you knew that was going to end up being the end of that game. However, if I'm going to be honest, based on the powers that be, the script writers, the NFL, who then has their dictation enforcement put out by the Zebras, had long since decided that the Chiefs are going to win this game, right? There is absolutely no reality where the Kansas City Chiefs can win a Super Bowl and then lose opening day in their house 2 years in a row on Thursday Night Football. There is absolutely no way the NFL was going to possibly allow that, right? They are far and away the golden children of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying this because I'm not a fan of his. I'm just saying this because of how it appears. He is the anointed one of the NFL. You can tell by his body language. You can tell now by how the referees enforce certain penalties in a game, okay? Now, I could sit here on my soapbox and sound like everybody else and just say, oh, well, the refs were being clearly biased against the Ravens. They were, right? Especially with the illegal formation, flagrant fouling or flag throwing of the illegal formation on the Baltimore Ravens. But again, for the second game, the second opening night in a row before God and everybody on Thursday night primetime, you've seen the Kansas City Chiefs right tackle Juwan Taylor consistently get away with false starts. All right. You also realize that this guy's like very seldom called for holding. Okay. Now, he could be just that good. He doesn't grade out that well based on all the expert analysis to watch him play by play, but he could be just that good that he never holds a player, he never jumps off sides. I was noticing that his alignment was very similar to that of Ronnie Stanley, where he was slightly farther back off the line than what the refs would have necessarily gotten away with. But when you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you're allowed to get away with these things. And now it's gotten so incredibly bad. It has gotten so incredibly bad, so incredibly blatantly obvious that the Chiefs now, not only do they expect to get every single call to go their way, they are bitching, they are crying, they are just soccer playing WWE style, throwing a fit on the field when they don't get every single call. Okay, the Chiefs expect any time that there is an incomplete pass or a run for less than 2 positive yards on a play, they expect to have some type of flag thrown against the opposing team, because the Chiefs now have this air about them where they are going to just be allowed to progress their way through to the AFC Championship game. There's going to be no obstacles in their way, regardless of personnel, regardless of injuries, regardless of penalties. You know, if you look at, okay, so, Ray Rice, granted, what he did was pretty bad. Certain players in the NFL aren't given as much leniency as other players are. And what do I mean by that? Well, Matt Ariza was chased out of the NFL for accusations that were deemed to be false. They briefly touched on that during the broadcast, even though Mike Tirico didn't necessarily do a great job of explaining the nuances of the situation. But Matt Ariza was chased out of the NFL for accusations that were deemed false. But yet Rashee Rice is allowed to have 8 pending felony charges, okay? 8 pending felony charges. And yet he's allowed to play because the NFL wants to let the legal process play out. The NFL wants to let the legal process play out. And this could take anywhere from December to into 2025, and that's just not fair to Rashee Rice. But yet when Matt Ariza does something that is proven false based on just allegations and accusations, he gets chased out of the league. Oh, okay, gotcha. When Harrison Butker promotes pro-Christian values at a Catholic church, the NFL comes out and poo-poos him and condemns him, even though his jersey was then the highest selling jersey during like a 3-week span right there. But when Rashee Rice has 8 pending felony charges against him, he's allowed to play. So my point being is that even though the 3 examples that I just cited, Rashee Rice, Matt Ariza, and Harrison Butker, are all on the Chiefs team, my point being is that certain players in the NFL are allowed more grace and more, I guess you could say, more rope to play based on, certain charges. This man has pending felony charges, not just accusations or just speaking his opinion before a Catholic university. I just don't like the Rashee Rice move. And not to be nothing, but I mean, do you really even need him? You guys got Hollywood Smoke Brown. And now you just showed us that Xavier Worthy is the second coming of Tyreek Hill being the fastest man at the combine, right? Like, he went absolutely bananas, 2 touchdowns as a rookie. That's insane. His first touch ever was for a touchdown. And yet the Chiefs seem to not even really be able to figure out what exactly they're trying to do with Xavier Worthy, in that you see him being utilized similar to how the Detroit Lions used J-Mo the past 2 years, where you're just trying to figure out how to get this guy the ball and get him on the field. I also want to point out that the Chiefs' now coaching staff is allowed to get away with bending the rules to their will, where I want to say in the second quarter, I know the Ravens were driving, Steve Spagnuolo ran down the sidelines and was called timeout and granted to him by the officiating crew. He's not the head coach. He's not allowed to make that, and that basically should have just gotten waved off, right? Now, that did kind of play into Baltimore's hands in a beneficiary position, because they kind of had a little bit of the wrong personnel group out on the field. They made a slightly wrong form alignment, and it ended up boding well, because then the Chiefs were also caught in a bit of a confusion, and they ended up calling timeout illegally. So I think they should be fined for that. But I think we all know that the NFL isn't going to fine their golden boy, their standard for perfection in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. They are going to do everything they possibly can this season to make sure that Kansas City has the easiest pathway to the Super Bowl. They've already dumped a bunch of marketing into Patrick Mahomes. They got a ton of money wrapped up into Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. This is clearly their cash cow. They're going to continue to milk it as much as they possibly can, even if by milking it they have to shove their fist up their ass to manipulate the cow to make it fucking pretend to be alive, just so they can get the last little bits of milk out of it, because it's just evident that they don't want anybody else to be successful, other than I'm pretty sure that they're going to do everything in their power for one of the two teams tonight. So let's just go ahead and quickly talk about the Packers and Eagles game down in Brazil. I mentioned last night how absolutely ridiculous it is for the NFL to sit here, preach and carry on and bellyache and make players do stupid shit, all to protect their their health and well-being and to protect the safety of the player, although we allow turf to destroy guys' ligaments in their ankles and knees. We need to protect players. Player safety is priority number one. The NFL is also super duper woke, so we have to extend our reach and our influence into lesser countries that need a Western civilization upbringing, I guess. The NFL is starting to be ran by awful people, and that being affluent white female liberals. They're trying to really expand the NFL brand by going internationally, right? So, of course, we're going to go to Latin America. And we're going to go to fucking Brazil, right? Which is one of the highest crime-rated countries in the entire globe, right? Let alone the Western Hemisphere. And then we're going to make two teams that play in green play at a stadium where green is a gang-affiliated color, so that we have to tell both of our teams to not wear the color green when one of them literally has the word green in their fucking name. Okay. Now, as far as the Packers are concerned, this is where I tie in. They're paving the way for the Packers to have just a nice, easy road to the Super Bowl. They want to have Jordan Love versus Patrick Mahomes. All offseason, the media has just been glazing the Packers. If I don't know how the media can fit, Patrick Mahomes' dick, Jordan Love's dick, and, well, let's be honest, Caleb Williams' dick all in their mouth at the same fucking time, right? But they are just packing all those dudes' dicks in their mouth, just sucking them as hard as they fucking can. Jordan Love might as well just be the second coming of Jesus at this point, because he is the only thing better, according to the media, in their eyes, than Patrick Mahomes. And I'm just fucking sick of it. But they've been glazing the fucking Packers all offseason. And then they're giving the Packers, they're not making them open the season on the road in Philadelphia with a potentially very, very hostile crowd. We know that Philly's one of the tougher places to play and that their fan base is fucking bananas, right? But they're going to allow the Brazil game to count as a road game for the Packers, so they have to play, they actually get more games here at Green Bay than they do technically in a hostile field, because the Brazil game is going to be technically a neutral field, right? Even though they are the away team for this, it's going to be a neutral field. And I just think it's absolutely bananas. So what I'm seeing right now as of game 1, week 1, heading into game 2, week 1, the NFL is paving the way for the Packers and the Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl based on their ability to manipulate the outcome of the game via terrible officiating. No matter what a team does, they can't overcome terrible officiating. And as Lions fans, we absolutely know that to be true. So, I didn't really look up any numbers for tonight's game. I'm not going to be gambling on tonight's game because I fucking hate the Packers, and I'm not really that big of an Eagles fan. I don't like Nick Sirianni. And I don't condone the NFL doing this game-flipping bullshit where they want to put games on exclusive subscription-style networks. I do not agree with them exclusively locking things behind a paywall for like Peacock and shit like that. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. How can you on one hand sit here and preach about how you want to reach the younger children, you want to reach the youth, you want to, NFL Play 60, you want this flag football faggotry to go on, but yet you're going to gatekeep people of a lower income status from being able to consume your product by putting it behind a subscription wall. Seems a cunt hair hypothetical or hypocritical, but what do I know? The NFL is woker than I am, so they clearly know something. Have you seen an NFL ad for NFL apparel that doesn't have, a gay couple or a fat bitch or a fucking cripple, be it by birth or by accident, Or their favorite thing. Have you ever noticed that their favorite thing woke companies like to put in their advertisements are bitches with vitiligo? Have you noticed that? That's like their go-to. They love to just jam in people with vitiligo as like a underrepresented class. That's fine, but fuck off, right? Like just fuck off trying to hit all of these goddamn woke points. Like last night. Oh my god, last night. I'm gonna just be done with this statement. Dude, the NFL's woke shit with the fucking that stupid long ass woke fucking song to start the fucking game. Dude, you'd have thought that was their main event. That was more important than the game, than the fucking national anthem. And then the national anthem was fucking trash, dude. It was absolute fucking hot garbage. I did not enjoy it one fucking bit. That chick can't fucking sing, and it's incredibly disrespectful for the Chiefs fans to end it with, instead of the home of the brave, they're the home of the Chiefs. Like, I just think that's a little kind of both insulting to the nation, but also a little bit egotistical and self-centered of the Chiefs fans. But hey, what do I know? The NFL's anointed them to be kings of the fucking world, so they're going to be able to do whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter what I think. I'm stuck here in Michigan. My voice doesn't fucking matter. The one of you that stuck around and hung out, I appreciate it. That's going to be it for me. Try and have a good rest of the night. Stay out of trouble. Do anything I want to do. Keep sticking on the ice. Doesn't find you handsome, at least you find you handy. We'll probably do a short live stream before Lions game Sunday night. So that's going to be it for me. Frig off and bunga bunga.